and welcome back to the channel. This is Noir Star Emporium, a vlog about the ins and outs of running a mom and pop gothic lifestyle brand. I'm Linus, co-founder, co-owner, and fashion designer here at Noir Star Emporium. Happy and blessed Yule, whatever it is that you celebrate. Thank you for joining us here today on this awesome holiday. Unfortunately, me and my little clan have gotten sick, so it is very hard to try and post anything. As you can tell, my voice is a little raspy for this week. So I am opting to hand it over to Krampus to just give everyone a little Hexmas, Gothsmiths Yule greeting for this season. We were so lucky and so fortunate to have Krampus visit our shop this year, and hopefully we'll have him back again next year in possibly an even bigger, more fantastical way here at the Shirt Factory. So I'll hand it over to Krampus and maybe even a little something from Santa Claus.
Seasons, creepings, and blessed Yule. I am the Noir Star Emporium's Krampus. It's actually me, Martin the Eggman. This video, I kind of want to discuss Krampus. Krampus that we made specifically for our store. This year we did photos with Krampus on 3 different occasions. First one being Black Friday. We promoted it, and it was a great success. Pretty well success. Someone thought I was Satan, so I'm not really taking that as being a bad thing. But yeah, no, it was just very, very overwhelmingly a lot of praise. A lot of people got into it. Some kids were scared. Some kids, not so much. There was one little girl, about 10 years old, tell me, comes up, gives me a hug, and is like, Krampus is my favorite. And I'm like, oh, that's adorable, and also a little strange at the same time. But no, it was great. It was super awesome. We, there's a lot of people out there who know way more about Krampus than I do. I know a lot of the old folklore and the mythology, but there's people that, they spent time living in Germany and the Alpines and, Austria, and they've been to the Krampus Fest over there. So I'm like, oh, but no, they're like, yeah, this is very great. Our mask, this mask, I made it myself. Next year I'll probably make another one, but this is my first mask I did. I thought it was a big success. I wasn't trying to go for super heavy metal, give the people nightmares Krampus. I want a fun, whimsical Krampus. I want a big smile, nice big red tongue. Yeah, more of a whimsical Krampus. And I think I nailed it. Little Linus, my partner, the co-owner of Noir Star Emporium, made the costume. We got this cloak that she was able to alter, add the fur. The fur blended in perfectly with the mask. She made this like black gorilla like suit for me to wear. Crazy hot. I was sweating, but it was worth it. It was so worth it because it tied everything together. You know, I had the werewolf gloves. I had the hooves. It was perfect. I wore it to the upstate New York punk rock flea market. People were coming up to me. They're like, "Oh, can I take a picture?" I'm like, "Oh yeah, come on, let's go, let's do photos, yeah." And you know, they were tipping me as if I was Elmo in Times Square. I'm like, "Okay, that's awesome." First time doing it, I wasn't actually looking for people to tip me, but it was still awesome. In the store, when I did Krampus in the store, we were selling prints, so you can get photos with Krampus. I had a photo printer hooked up to my phone. Boom, and sell those. And that's nothing, but I like to. I just like to connect with people and share what I did and be like, hey, come get your photos, Krampus, because it's cool, it's awesome. Yeah, not as a giving the middle finger to Santa, which leads me to my story about when Krampus met Santa. Now, old mythology, Krampus and Santa, they're good buddies. Santa, I was came across a story about how Santa would go into the house, give treats to the good kid, and then Krampus would be right there, right behind him with his switch and his basket, take the naughty kids. And so they're good cop, bad cop. So one day, I decided to break out the Krampus costume in the store, photos of Krampus. Same day, the bookstore down the hall had photos with Santa. And, Santa came by before I got dressed up. I was like, oh, hey, Santa, Krampus is supposed to be making an appearance. He's like, oh, my good buddy Krampus. And I'm like, yeah. And he's like, I use that term loosely. And I'm like, what? I thought you guys used to tag team and, used to go and take care of business. He's like, that's true. Later, when I was dressed like Krampus, Santa came back to my store and we hung out. Krampus, Santa, we hung out. We had some laughs, got some photos taken. It was really great. And also, this isn't like your run-of-the-mill mall Santa. This Santa, he knew Baba Yaga, he knew Krampus, he knew the Yule Cat. He's telling stories to my kids, in better detail than I know of some of these Yuletide mythical characters. My wife knows a lot more than me. She does a lot of the studying, and then she tutors me. And likewise, I fell into the Krampus hole, and I'm sharing all this stuff with her, and then she goes into the Krampus hole, and she shares with that. That's why we work great together. We work great. So next year we're probably going to make a whole new Krampus costume. We'll probably keep this one. My son might take on the role as a Krampus as well. Because one thing that we learned throughout town is there's a local bar that's like, oh, Krampus should come pay us a visit. I would have took them up on it, but my schedule was so jam packed. So I'm working with the building owner right now, doing some research, and potentially next year putting on a Krampus Fest. And this will be like the like an Adirondacks Krampus Fest. So we're working on that. And trying to get it all put together. And it's gonna be wild. It's gonna be amazing. I'm really looking forward to the next mask I get to make. Maybe it'll be more whimsical. Maybe it'll be more scary than this guy. Either way, I got my taste in mask making. My wife, she's made a bunch of costumes before, but this is the first project we collaborated on where I did the mask, She did everything else, and it came together beautifully. I mean, come on, look at that tongue. Look at that tongue. So this is, this is just a plastic mask, and then I molded the features on top of it using paper mache and clay. The tongue is paper mache and paint. So it was a lot of fun. So I'm looking forward to next year. Anyways, that's it. Thank you for watching. Blessed Yule. Merry Creepsmas. Merry Hexmas. And enjoy this time. And we'll see you in, what's next year? 2026.
Of course.
Nice.
Oh,
Krampus and
hello
Santa
there.
hanging out.
It's my old buddy Krampus. I guess you could say he's the bad cop. Look at that tongue, very fearsome. Merry Christmas and Merry Krampus night.
Have a wonderful holiday, whatever it is that you celebrate. And please join us back here next week for another video. Hopefully my voice will be better. Remember to like, share, subscribe, and we will see you next time. Thank you.